Great to see you. Thanks so much for being here tonight.
Thanks for having me, Katie.
So President Trump is on his way to Beijing, his first trip to China in 9 years. It's the first time the president will be in China since the COVID pandemic. He's continued to talk about the Wuhan lab origin theory. Do you think he'll bring it up as part of his trip and getting the truth about the pandemic from the Chinese side, which we know has covered up and erased doctors, et cetera, as a result of the pandemic?
You know, Katie, I don't know whether he will bring it up. I think it's very clear now that the origins of this virus was, in fact, the laboratory. It was not part of nature in the wet market. That was always a ruse. So, but I don't know if he's going to bring it up or not. I just don't know.
Do you think you should bring it up? Do you think there should be a discussion point during the trip so it doesn't happen again?
Yeah, I've always felt that the only way we're going to get everyone to understand the real reality that this virus came from scientific research, which was done in that laboratory, and as you know, funded by the United States, a variety of different groups in the U.S., and actually in collaboration with U.S. scientists, would be for the Chinese government to basically come out and acknowledge that. And I'm still optimistic that eventually will happen. I don't know if President Trump will be able to suggest that that would be advantageous for the world for us to move on and get that out. So I just don't know the answer, Katie.
Speaking of viruses, I want to get your response to this new Hantavirus outbreak. Dozens of Americans are being quarantined and monitored after being exposed on a cruise. We also learned that the Kansas Health Department is monitoring 3 people with high-risk exposure, whatever that might mean. There's a lot of people really freaked out about this. Should they be, or should they just, let these people come off the cruise, get better, and go on with their lives?
Yeah, this is not a COVID-like pathogen. And the problem with COVID when it came in, and I was the CDC director, we didn't know anything about how this virus interacts with the human being, right? It was brand new, it was novel. These hantaviruses have been around for a long time. I spent a long time in the U.S. military, and actually one of the major outbreaks we had was at the Korean War, where mice and rat droppings get into the soil, and when the helicopters came in and they agitated it up in the air, then soldiers would breathe it in as they were getting off the helicopters, and they would get infected with what we called at the time Korean hemorrhagic fever, which was a hantavirus. We've had hantaviruses for a long time. You probably remember the Four Corners disease that we had in the Utah, Arizona area, Colorado, and New Mexico coming together. We have hantaviruses that are in rodents in many of our cities, including Baltimore. It's just a virus that doesn't infect humans. Right. And of course, the virus that's involved here, the Andes variant, is different than the other hantaviruses in that it has been shown to be able to go from human to human. Right. There is an outbreak in Argentina that's been going on since last July. They've had over 100 infections. They've had over 35% of those to 40% of those people have died, unfortunately. So, but we have a lot of experience here, and I'm pretty confident that the CDC and the public health community has got the right response. And we may see a couple more cases because of secondary spread, and exposure, like you talked about the Kansas City people. Yeah. But I think this is going to be a dead-end outbreak, literally within days.
Yeah, we're glad to hear that. But let's get to some breaking news from earlier today. Dr. Marty Makary resigned from his position as FDA Commissioner. There's been a lot of reports and accusations about a so-called tumultuous relationship with the White House and within the FDA. You've also heard that he was actually pushing up against pharmaceutical companies, and we talked to him last week, and he said a lot of drugs that shouldn't be getting approved are not getting approved, so they're dropping hit pieces on me in the Wall Street Journal. What do you think happened here, since it's not yet clear?
I don't know, Katie. I have a lot of respect for Marty Makary. I think he was doing a good job. I know that when I took over CDC, it was complicated, but most of the people at CDC felt if they'd outlast me because, they've been there. They've been there for years. and they were going to outlast me. And it took a long time to start winning them over. I think I helped win them over because I could speak their language, science. I think Marty was trying to do a good thing. He's trying to do change, but I don't think he had, the rank and file behind him, unfortunately. And I think it's disappointing because I think he was really making effective change. I don't think it's healthy for, personally, the president to have his senior people turning over at the rate that they're turning over now. I mean, we couldn't keep the CDC director. Now we're losing the head of the FDA. We've lost we lost the attorney general. We've lost the head
and then the actings have to come in and get started too. So it's almost like they have to start over with those people you just described.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.